Bring 3 powerful modes of action to strike corn rootworm at full force. Outsmart, outmaneuver, and outmatch their every move with the industry's first triple BT protein stack built for corn rootworm control. Take back your yield potential. Make your move at Durastack.com. Available for the 2027 season.
It doesn't matter how a hybrid or variety performs across the country, or even in the next town over. At Golden Harvest, we know local results start with local expertise.
Hey, Bob.
Like knowing that diner on Main Street has the best slice of pie, or knowing the matchup every Friday night. It takes someone who truly knows your acres and will be there every step of the way to make sure you see results. Learn more at goldenharvestseeds.com.
School year, there's sports physical today at SIU Center for Family Medicine in Lincoln. Keep them healthy, focused, and ready for success. Find out more by clicking their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Hi, I'm Brett with Central Cremation Center. We're proudly offering pet cremation services to help keep your faithful companion close to you. Learn more about our pet services by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
News time is 9 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Thursday. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded 7 o'clock newscast. Brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and brought to you by Connexus, providing fiber internet to Clinton. Learn more at DeWittDailyNews.com. Well, taking a look at some early rainfall totals from across central Illinois here on this Thursday. Saw some pretty good rain showers and storms in some parts of central Illinois yesterday, as we turn to CocoRoz.org for those rainfall totals. And we start here in DeWitt County over by Farmer City, just off of the lake, about 1/3 of an inch in the northeast corner of DeWitt County. In Logan County, just one report. It's 1/3 of an inch just north of Mount Pulaski off of 121 by a mile or two there in Logan County. Elsewhere, let's jump down to the Piatt County area between Cisco and Cerro Gordo. About 1/10 of an inch of rain, a little bit more than 1/10 of an inch of rain on the west side of the county. Bloomington normal in McLean County from the rains in the evening yesterday, about 1/4 of an inch in normal, a little bit less than a 1/5 of an inch in Bloomington, just off the highway where 55 and 74 split, about 1/3 of an inch of rain and 1/4 of an inch of rain off to Wanda Barnes heading towards Downs in McLean County. North side of Bloomington normal, just outside of Hudson off the highway, about 1/5 of an inch of rain and 1/3 of an inch of rain in the northwest corner north of Carlock off the highway in McLean County from those rainfalls in the overnight last night. About 1/2 an inch of rain rather in the Springfield area just outside of Riverton along 54. 1/10 of an inch of rainfall in Christian County near Edinburgh yesterday in the overnight. Trace of rain in northern Moultrie County from the overnight. Some other rainfalls, traces of rain in northern Woodford County, about 1/5 of an inch of rain in northern Peoria County, just outside of Dunlap to the north. Western Woodford County near Metamora, about 1/10 of an inch of rainfall in that portion of central Illinois. Rantoul got 1/3 of an inch of rain in northern Champaign County. Champaign-Urbana got the most of the rain over the in the evening last night between an 9th, if I can get my words out this morning, 7/10, 8/10, 9/10, an inch and 1/10 in Champaign-Urbana, 3/4 of an inch of rain in Savoy, 6/10 of an inch of rain in St. Joseph. In eastern Champaign County, 1.1 inches of rain fell in Homer yesterday in eastern Champaign County. I noticed there were some pretty gnarly storms in that Monticello-Champaign corridor yesterday afternoon as that rain was rolling through. So they got a good amount of rain there in Champaign County yesterday. A trace of rain in Shelbyville in Shelby County from the overnight. Those rainfall totals we mentioned, once again, courtesy of CocoRoz.org. That is the community collaborative rain, hail, and snow network. That's CocoRoz.org. All right, let's get to the news on this Thursday. In the last 10 days, the Kiwanis Park playground rebuild has taken major steps forward, and the city of Clinton leadership is optimistic it could be ready to use in just a few short weeks. It's been a long journey to this point, but the progress has been noticeable as construction has picked up steam, says City Administrator Tony Harris.
It's very exciting. As Commissioner Ballinger just mentioned, that we're almost there. We've got one more day of setting the playground equipment in place, and then we got to get with the company that's going to do it's called Port in Place. That's what I know it as. It's basically the ground for the playground. We've got to get those contractors in. We're hoping 2 or 3 days we'll have that done. So we're getting there. This has been a long time coming. It's fall. We're getting ready to open the park. We were hoping for spring, but it just didn't. We had to make it. We had some issues and we had to get those resolved. So we're right there. We're right around the corner getting that thing opened up, and we're very excited about it. So be waiting for a grand opening. Commissioner Ballinger just stated that in the meeting that he wants to do that. So I'm not sure what he wants to do, but we'll both talk and we'll get something together.
According to Harris, there were a few things that had to be ironed out, so the process ended up getting stretched out. He explains it was largely due to the transition in the city administrator's job.
Well, it was a change of administration. This started with Taylor that had my position back. I think it started last fall, and then he left. I came in. There was some confusion between the company, Cunningham Recreation, and my office as to where we were at. What we purchased, what the contract said. So there were some hurdles like that where we'd already purchased the playground equipment, and that showed up, but we didn't know that we didn't purchase the install and the surfacing. So we had to make our way through all that through the council to get all that approved, and that added additional cost. So it was a couple of hurdles like that, and we had to meet with the contractors a couple of times to really get a sense as to what kind of work we need to do there. When I say we, I'm talking about Steve Lobb and his crew at the street department. And while we're talking about this, I want to give them kudos because, like I said, we had some hurdles, but it wasn't just me working through those. It was more Steve and his crew than me working through those hurdles. I mean, there were he and his crew had to build a wall out there. So if you go by there, you'll see a couple of nice walls, sitting walls out there. And they did a great job on that. And that was just something that they had to throw together real quick. And so kudos to Steve Lobb and his crew at the street department. They did a heck of a job making that thing work. So
you can check out the WHW, WEZC, and DeWittDailyNews.com Facebook page for a video conversation with Harris at Kiwanis Park on Wednesday afternoon. The 4-H year has come to an end, and the University of Illinois Extension in DeWitt, Macon, and Piatt counties is celebrating a successful fair season. 4-H Youth Development Coordinator Kendra Wallace told Regional Radio they had a great turnout at the 4-H show this year in Clinton.
We had our annual DeWitt, Macon, Piatt 4-H show at the DeWitt County 4-H Fairgrounds here in Clinton behind the C.H. Moore Homestead. And we had a really good turnout. Overall, we had for our overall numbers, we had 240 exhibitors this year, and that's combining all 3 counties. It is a little bit down from last year, but I'll be 100% honest with you, between everyone's busy summer schedules, and then a lot of our exhibitors did not show either in poultry either because of the IDOA's poultry limitations. It kind of cut it pretty close before they were released for live exhibit. So we had quite a few exhibitors bow out because of that, which is understandable, but I really am hoping to see those numbers continue to rise up. In total, we handed out over 1,335 blue ribbons this year. That's an amazing feat in and of itself. And we just overall had a really, really great turnout. Livestock numbers were great across the board. It was a fantastic time, really fun. We had a couple new events this year. We always want to thank our partnership with DeWitt County Farm Bureau and Farm Bureau Young Leaders. They put on our Ag Olympics, and then this year the Farm Bureau also sponsored a Touch a Tractor event. So really getting the families out there, giving them activities and things to do in the downtime. So it was just a fun time.
Wallace indicates many of the 4-Hers were nominated and moved on to the state fair in Springfield. One DeWitt County student even won the Grand Champion prize for their beef steer.
That is seen when they're nominated and going on to state fair. So So I know that we had major successes in the livestock. I know we had a grand champion beef steer, I believe, this year that
Wow.
came from DeWitt County, and several swine exhibitors that placed reserve or champion. We had a family that got the Young Producers Award that came from DeWitt County. So those are just some highlights. I know the poultry exhibitors, there was several rabbit exhibitors. I'll be honest with you, I feel awful saying this, but I didn't get a chance to check on sheep and goats. But I know we've got some great kiddos that had really great specimens to take to State Fair with them this year. So, but for general projects, that was just astounding. We had, for our county day, which was Saturday, August the 9th, we had over 19 champion recipients. We had 8 reserve champion recipients, 9 Inspire Award recipients at State Fair. It just blows my mind. These kids are so talented, and it really shows, and you can see their dedication and their knowledge in their projects.
According to Wallace, visual arts and civic engagement projects were the most popular among the students, and notes they had 204 visual arts entries alone.
Definitely visual arts. Visual arts is a huge area. It is very spread out when it comes to like the subcategories within that, but visual arts, we had over 204 entries alone this year. The next popular, let's see here, civic engagement was the next highest at 70, and then foods and nutrition's at 68. So those are going to be your community service, acts of community service. If you've got kiddos that did a civic engagement or a civics project at school, like learning about their local government, or I mean, it's pretty encompassing. If they did a service project that encompassed any of our first responders, if they interviewed a first responder, if, you know, there's several different projects that can fit within that category. So I think the reason that went up quite a bit this year is because it also offered the opportunity for club projects to be considered for State Fair, which is new this year. State Fair wanted to recognize those clubs at a state level, not just at a county level. And so we had a lot of clubs that did community service projects or any other service project and applied for that. And so I think that really brought the numbers up, which is great to see.
The 4-H year the new 4-H year has already started, but that doesn't mean it's too late for your kids to get involved. And we'll have more with Wallace on that in the days ahead on regional radio. Learn more about 4-H and U of I Extension at extension.illinois.edu/DMP. A Central Illinois nonprofit is using a DeWitt County idea for a new program this month. On the WHOW Morning Show Wednesday, Candace Summers at the McLean County Museum of History told regional radio the Mourning in McLean exhibit takes over the display cases on every floor of the building. She says the C.H. Moore homestead was the inspiration for this idea.
Mourning in McLean is going to be a curated set of display cases on all the floors of the museum, plus a program series that explores death, funerary culture, mourning practices in McLean County in the mid to late 19th century to the early 20th century. And this was actually inspired by our friends at the C.H. Moore Homestead when they did Mourning More. And so like I got so excited about Mourning More. I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to see this. I never got to see it because life happens. And also because of my experience with the cemetery walk, I knew we had some really cool things in our display or in our archives and our object collections. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun to put together a couple, maybe like 2 display cases, just kind of featuring some of the interesting artifacts, you know, monument makers here in Bloomington Normal, or, you know, photography, or, you know, things like that. And so I started digging, no pun intended. And I started looking around. And I realized we have a lot more stuff than we could put in 2 cases. And I could have done more if we had the cases to do it. I have 7 cases, each with a different theme related to, you know, mourning culture. And I thought, you know, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I couldn't even fit everything we have into these 7 cases because there's just so much. And this really offers a snapshot into how mourning evolved, why we have some of the traditions we still have today, Who were those monument makers who helped us etch in stone to remember our dearly departed? Who are the people that are buried in our cemeteries? And what cemeteries do we have in McLean County? Highlighting, of course, Evergreen Memorial Cemetery.
While nothing could replace the cemetery walks that ended last fall, Summers hopes this exhibit scratches a similar itch for museum goers. She was amazed by all the information she was able to find.
That just took off. And much like, the person who worked on the cemetery walk for 20 years, like, I really wanted to find the stories behind the people whose objects we are using in these displays. And I got to tell you, I was just amazed by the information I found on the people themselves, because that's whose story we're trying to tell, is the people that these artifacts and archival material belong to. One that really fascinated me was a woman who did hair work. And so hair work is the art of making wreaths or jewelry, out of human hair, which was a very common practice back in the mid to late 19th century. And this woman, her last name is Agel, first name escapes me right now, but she won a ribbon at the McLean County Fair for her hair work. And I'd like to think it's the work that we have in our collection. I have no proof of that, but it's just gorgeous, intricate work where you take the hair of multiple family members, usually who are deceased, and you make this wreath, and it's almost like a family tree hair wreath. And it's just stunning work, and the craftsmanship and the care that went into the pieces, just in this one case, is truly amazing. And that tells you how much death was a part of life. A woman could spend a huge chunk of her life in mourning, mourning a husband, mourning children, mourning parents. It truly is one of the only guarantees in life is death. And so exploring the cultural aspects, how things came to be, how it evolved over time, is something we want to help educate people about.
The exhibit will be up from September 15th to November 21st, just in time for the Halloween season. She adds there will be programming events that follow the theme throughout the exhibit span.
So it goes up on September 15th, and it'll be up through November 21st. It'll be on 3 floors of the museum, the first, second, and third floors. And then we have a series of associated programs with that, including September 11th, which is a little before, but the majority of the cases will be up and ready by then. We have an end-of-life doula who will be coming to speak about what exactly it is she does, how she helps people through the grieving process, how to come to terms with death. And so we're really excited to be able to host her for our Lunch and Learn on September 11th. A nice homage to the cemetery walk. We will be having a cemetery picnic at Evergreen Cemetery on October 4th, where I will be leading a tour, and then we'll be dining with the dead in the cemetery, much like people once used to do.
Visit the McLean County Museum of History at 200 North Main Street in Bloomington to see the Mourning in McLean exhibit, and learn more by visiting mchistory.org or finding the McLean County Museum of History on Facebook. 26 minutes after 7 o'clock is news time. A break here, more to come on The Morning Show.
Experience the power of better connection with Connexus Fiber Internet. Connexus delivers ultra-fast, reliable speeds to keep you connected at the speed of life. Whether you're working from home, streaming your favorite shows, or gaming with your friends, Connexus has you covered. Say goodbye to buffering and dropped calls, and say hello to fiber fast internet. Ready to upgrade your connection? Sign up today by clicking the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. Nothing connects us like Connexus.
Baum Chevrolet Buick offers full transportation options while giving you peace of mind. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. This is what we do every day. We listen to you, give you options for routine maintenance, major mechanical problems, or collision repairs with a staff that's knowledgeable to find the best option for you. Baum Chevrolet Buick, your full-service dealer. See us at BaumChevyBuick.com right from the start.
News time is 27 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Thursday. I'm Seth Lawrence with this report. With a busy travel season in the books, Gas prices could see a deep discount come Thanksgiving for drivers across the state. For drivers hitting the road during the Labor Day, prices were the cheapest at the pump since Labor Day 2020. Patrick DeHaan, the head of petroleum analysis with Gas Buddy, reports prices could dip as low as 30 cents per gallon. According to DeHaan, prices could also drop when refineries switch to a cheaper winter blend of fuel. Typically, refineries switch to the winter blend in mid-September or October. News time is 29 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Thursday. Coverage of news is